Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniatures. Today we're going to take a look at a Mythos starter set. This is the Custos Crypta box from Warcradle Studios. So here is what we've got waiting for us in this box. A nice giant bug dude with crazy reversed jointed legs, okay. Some priestess looking Egyptian flavored ladies. Two squat little bladed grunts, and this massive monstrosity holding a pharaoh-like mask above his head. Okay, that sounds like fun. Yeah, so this is a very insect-themed crew for Mythos. And if you're not familiar with Mythos, originally the game was on Kickstarter. Some of these gulps ended up being produced from that. The game was picked up by Warcradle, and they've continued to support it, and you can actually take a look at the rules and all the pertinent information on their website. So if you're curious about it, because I'm all about crazy skirmish games, I was trying to take a look and see how compatible it is with some of their other games. So inside, waiting for us, we have a little flyer, picture of one of the painted crews with their giant golem. I kind of remember him from the original one. And you can see some of the other games in the Warcradle stable at this point. So Dystopian Wars, obviously, Wild West Exodus. Lost World Exodus is one that I'm curious to see more. I know they've had Theodore Roosevelt riding a feathered raptor. He will probably end up here sooner or later. Mythos, this F and F, I don't know what that is. I'm thinking Fast and Furious, but there's like stuff on fire there. Maybe I'm wrong. But here is the most oddest one of all. Bill and Ted's Riff in Time. Is it a skirmish game? I don't know. That's a head scratcher. So, we got a variety of bases in here. 40s and 30s. And then we got a big ol' hunker for the giant Crypt Guardian. I think that's what it's called. This is like a 80mm base almost, probably close to that. Let's take a look at what these models are like. Now, I didn't back the original Kickstarter. I know there was at least one. I want to say that they started going on to some of the expansion models after that, but then actually I think at this point Warcradle has produced a lot more since the original Kickstarter campaigns. So you can see our priestess ladies. Let's see if I can zoom that in a bit. There we go. It's going to be fun trying to decipher what goes where and who goes what. Nicely cast, but I can say that about just every model I've gotten from Warcradle. I'm assuming this is a grub body, rubbing his belly. Okay. A hand. I hope this isn't broken off of something. So it looks like it could be a priestess hand. I'm just going to assume they're priestesses. That's what I'm going to call them. Nice serrated knife. Some grub scything talons. Nice looking grub head and grub belly. I think it's a repeat sculpt there. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. And then we get some more bits and pieces over here. I'm not sure what this is. Probably helps when it's in focus, right? Maybe that's the head to the other guy. I feel like I have a lot of extra hands. I'm guessing this is okay. Yeah. That's for the two ladies. Let's see. Maybe our tall guy is in here. I'm curious about that model. Alright, what's this stuff? Hands and little vestigial limbs, maybe? Sculpt looks nice on that face. I thought maybe that's his head, but I don't know. Never mind. We'll figure it out eventually. Very insect-like hands. Only 4 fingers. Interesting. He's got like little bladed scything limbs all tucked in. Very grasshopper-like body. I'm pretty sure that's where those are supposed to go. His legs are going to make him quite tall. Fun. Alright, let's see what our giant scarab monster beetle thing is going to be like. I should get that Wild West Exodus set with the centaur lady out. Oh my goodness, it feels like a lot of parts in here. Not creature caster level of craziness, but definitely a good chunk. Okay. I like giant beetle monsters. I really, truly do. And I don't think this is going to disappoint in that regard. It's going to go there. Shell's going to go on top of that. Big fingers, blades, thick abdomen. I'm saying, and he should have his mask to hold up there. That'll be fun. And then you can see here's the hand that's holding the mirror, not mirror, mask up. Another random limb. Big long leg. Thankfully the legs are pretty flat on the bottom. That's going to help. I can't stand when you have to stand up insect models, or just models in general that have pointy legs and no way to stand on them. So it looks like I got my work cut out for me, but if these guys are like any of the other Warcradle models I put together, they have been very painless and effortless in terms of having to figure out how to put them together, so I'm not too worried there. Do look forward to seeing how they turn out, so sit tight and we'll take a look. Alright, we got our Custos Crypta starter set all put together here, so why don't we take a look. We're going to start off with the simplest models, at least in terms of sculpts and design. That would be the Cultists right here. Actually, they're not Cultists. They are Sarah Harriott and Victoria Taylor. I'm not sure which is which, but I'm just going to call them my Cultist ladies for now. Obviously, they are very Egyptian in dress. They actually went together pretty well. I was worried about them, but things worked out all right. That piece that I couldn't figure out what it was actually the front piece of her loincloth right here. I do feel that the arm with the dagger is a little bit stiff looking. Maybe it's just where I positioned it, but looking at the artwork, it kind of looks similar. I don't know. But then again, these two ladies, as nicely sculpted as they are, as much as they look like they'll fit in for a nice set of Egyptian priests, or desert-dwelling shaman, mage, whatever types, which we will definitely use them for that purpose in the future. That's really not why I grabbed this set for. What I wanted, obviously, were the cool bug things. So why don't we take a look at the grubs? Now, I was worried, I didn't glue them down yet, that they were going to be very difficult to tell apart which one's which, but they were keyed entirely different, so you don't have to worry about mixing up pieces there. It was a nice touch. They are a pretty good size. Keep in mind, Wild West Exodus is at a closer to 32mm scale, and their bases are quite large as well. I will grab a couple figures just to give you guys a good sense of scale while we're at it. And then we have, I believe this is the Crypt Sham. Now, this is one of my favorite ones, and if you ever saw the movie Mimic, or what was it, Midnight Meat Train, I think? The Ryuhei Kitamura movie. It very much gives that kind of, evokes that giant insect mimic. You can see here the bug eye hidden behind the human mask. Obviously the scything talons there kind of give it away. A good size figure. This is a... I'm not sure, they have a weird convention. Yeah, it is a 40. I was going to say 40, but I wanted to make sure. So you can see here, compared to his female friends, quite large. But then, honestly, the real star of the group is the Crypt Guardian. And he's just a big bug. Gotta say, he is quite impressive. I was worried that he was going to be much more smaller. He is on an 80mm base. And he did go together pretty easily, I gotta say. I love that mask. So yeah, I've been on a big bug kick lately, so this was right up my alley. I've been wanting to do a desert campaign if I can ever get some materials for my brother's, what is it, the fiber coating ones? He's got the non-resin 3D printer. We're going to try to get him to put up some more terrain one of these days, and we're going to go full-on bug hunt out in the desert. So yeah, definitely he is the star of the pack here. I was worried about his legs all attaching correctly, but honestly, it worked out pretty well. I always worry with models like this that I'm going to have a sense of the model being off balance, but no, he fits on really well. I'm happy about that. So how do these things all stack up? Because I gotta say they're pretty unique, and you know me, if you've listened to this channel for more than a few days, I do tend to look for the different and unique models out there. Grabbing a not so random Wild West Exodus model, my favorite, Marshall Base Reeves. You can see the human models stack up pretty nice. Marshall Base is pretty big as it is, but even with the Crypt Sham there, you can see he's might have met his match. Thankfully, if you get some of the larger scale humans from Wild West Exodus, such as one of my favorites, Waylon the Smith, or the legendary Wyatt Earp, you can see how they all stack up. Yeah, I know I was looking for this guy. This honestly is one of my favorites, and I cannot find his companion model, whose name unfortunately escapes me, but I really like this guy. Any excuse I have to throw him in any kind of a warband, I will use it. And I'm kind of curious if the Mythos line, I know it's its own game, but I'm curious to see if it's going to ever end up being able to get wrapped in with their dystopian worlds kind of line of all of their games wrapped under that umbrella. Grabbing a couple other models in case you're curious. A Privateer Press human, the most electrifying human in tabletop gaming entertainment, obviously. Bloody Bradigan Pit there. Our Inquisitor friend. I'm sure if you wanted to do some kind of gross Nurgle grub things with this, they would be a great source of that. The giant bug people, maybe not so much, but I think they would be some interesting opponents in any kind of tabletop RPG. Even though the bases are pretty large here on the not Wild West Exodus figures. Well, yes, Wild West Exodus figures, that's what I was looking at. But the Mythos line as well. They do still, I think, blend in pretty decently, especially once you've done some kind of decorative top of the bases. I think it's only when you really get into smaller figures like the North Star stuff where you're really going to see a huge discrepancy in size. We're having a human-sized deep cuts figure. Actually, it's not bad either. So I think in terms of gaming compatibility, I think you could probably get a lot of use out of these guys. The human figures, not as much, but I bet with some creativity, I'm sure you guys could come up with something better than me. I mean, obviously with the Egyptian trappings, they could be some kind of Tomb King related army. You know, this one I keep thinking just do her up like some kind of a mummified corpse. I can't tell if that's actually her face or she's wearing a mask as well. I'm not 100% sure. So yeah, hopefully eventually we'll get these all painted up, but more than likely it's going to be the stars here that get painted first. I just got to figure out a cohesive color scheme for all of the bugs that have recently been swarming onto my table. So hopefully we'll see more of them soon. With that said, I'm going to put a link down below in case you're curious. Do check out the Mythos game. The rules are free, and you can take a look at everything you need on their website. This has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon. Bye-bye.